In the back, can you hear me? Can you raise your hands if you can hear me? All right, we have a specific request from our closing keynote speaker. Could you fill up the chairs from the front backwards? He finds it very important that his audience is close and compact. So those of you still standing and those of you in the last rows, please fill up our audience. I only noticed now this is actually two railway carriages. So let's fill the middle carriages first. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Just a quick check. Oh yeah, this is also now a request from the photographer. Please start filling the seats from the front, because otherwise in the pictures these white chairs really light up. And then if Emil says that this was a huge success, everybody starts pointing at the empty chairs. So those of you in the last two rows, could you help us out, fill it up from the front? Thank you. Those of you just walking in, there's some seats in the front. Thank you. Perfect. Just a quick check. Can I see a raise of hands? Who of you has, in the previous two workshop rounds, heard at least something interesting? Something interesting, yes, in the workshop rounds? All right, good. Are there any obviously they took care of the meat of this meeting, and we're very grateful for that. Thank you very much. But their time and effort only makes sense if somehow you guys walk away into the big wide world and do something with those insights, new connections. So for a first starter of our closing plenary, I want to give you a little exercise. I've just primed you already, but there's a physical challenge involved as well. So take note. Those of you who walk but we're talking just heard about it, should or want to do something with. Because you want to become part of that corporation, because you want to use it as a model for your own corporations, because you want to use it as an example. I don't care how, but think about what have you heard that you can, want, or should use. And now here's the physical challenge. Like we did before, I invite you all to get up, find a new person. Secondly, it is someone who at least went to one different workshop than you did, right? Minutes when I say raise your hands if you can hear me. Attention back. Go ahead, find and discuss this question.
heel intens. We moeten een beetje oppassen dat mensen veel mensen van verschillende disciplines hebben. Dat betekent niet dat we disciplinair zijn. We moeten wel elkaar begrijpen. En dat is het heel erg. Kijk, data science is per definitie een soort van interdisciplinaire de mensen van de MBA moeten wel begrijpen de mensen van social science enzovoort. En dat zie ik nog niet. Dus mensen ze praten met elkaar, maar ze begrijpen het niet helemaal. En dat is, als je kijkt naar een simpel exempel, als je wat is jouw mening over wat daar zijn? Je krijgt een veel andere antwoorden dan op de Dus dat is wat is.
Right. Raise your hand if you can hear me. Can you raise your hand if you can hear me? Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, can you raise your hands if you can hear me? Right. Keep standing, keep standing. Please draw your attention to the stage. Those of you who stand up, keep standing. Let me make this a little bit more personal. This here is Geert. Geert is a... René. This here is a... Thank you, Geert. Anyway, René is our professional photographer, and it's his assignment to make sure that Emil and Arthur and Neveas and U goes home with pictures of a successful conference. So one more request, if you don't do it for me, if you don't do it for our closing keynote speaker, please do it for René. If you're standing, please fill all the seats from the front to the back and make sure that this looks like a full house. Go ahead, take a seat.
Side of my bachelor. Een van de auteur die ik heb leren gestudeerd was een natuurkunde. Hij schreef al filosofie over filosofie. Dat vind ik wel grappig. Dat ik kon niet denken dat van natuurkunde.
Thank you. Looking better. Yeah, any have a look from here. Better? Yes? Do it on the right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're continuing our proceedings, so let's keep moving. Looks better, huh? Looks better. Okay.
Ja, inderdaad, het is geen subsidie voor dit.
Let's continue. A quick check-in. By raise of hands. How many of you, who of you, has defined so far at least one follow-up action that you want to take out of this conference? At least one. Can I see you raise your hands? All right. I would say that's about 80%, so we still have 20% of you to go. Because this meeting only makes sense if you actually take action afterwards. So let's see in the last 45 minutes that we have together, or maybe in the networking reception afterwards, we can get to 100% of intended follow-up actions. This is about your personal follow-up actions. I'd like to invite two other members of what we've come to call the Digital Society team, in this case specifically two Digital Society program coordinators, to reflect on what they've seen and heard today and what their follow-up action might be. Give a big round of applause, Maarten Draaien and Professor Sally Wyatt. Welcome. Now, for those of us amongst us, if you have it does, what is your role in society?
I followed your advice. I turned off my phone.
Yeah. Metaphors.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
In a short tweet or a very short coordinate.
We try and stimulate, involved, and together to learn from one another, to take seriously the kind of challenges and opportunities that the digital society is bringing.
Exactly. And from that perspective, being in this meeting with that perspective, what is a key insight that you picked up out of the workshops here today?
For me, one of the things I jumped around workshops to try and figure out what was going on. I think we still have a lot to learn from one another around methods. What the technologies are offering to, certainly I'm a social scientist by training, we can learn a lot from our colleagues in the computer sciences, information and data sciences, in order to kind of raise new questions, do things in different ways. And I think there's a lot we can kind of learn from each other on that level.
And why would you say is that so important? Why do we need to get the methods right in our mission to be beneficial for society?
Because I think then you come up with better questions, richer answers, different kinds of representations that might speak to different kinds of people. And it's fun.
It's more fun, yeah. Oh, that's important. Now, and have you defined any follow-up actions for the program based on what you've seen and heard here today?
Yeah, I've got a whole little list.
All right. Let's go.
One. New ways of stimulating collaboration, both formally and informally, both across the different program lines, but also between kind of junior and senior colleagues.
Two. Well, let's go to Martin first. Martin, from your role as a program coordinator, what have you seen? What insights do you take away from these rounds?
So we talk a lot about the potential dangers that AI and data science bring. And I was in a couple of workshops where the emphasis was very much on the dangers and the risks. And I'd like to remind people that there are also plenty of opportunities. And there's as much of a danger in not acting as there is in acting. So yes, we should not overact, but we should also not underact. And it's, I think, what we need to do is find reasonable balances. We don't learn anything. We don't take risks.
I see this almost makes you angry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why does it make you angry?
Because I think we have really tough problems as a society, and we've shown that whenever we have tough problems where lots of uncertainty plays a role, we as a species are just not good at it. Mm-hmm. And now we have like a new type of help that could maybe help us solve some of these tough problems, whether they're environmental, health, logistics, you name them, education. I think we have an opportunity to do better than we've done before. So take that opportunity.
Yeah, and you say by talking too much about the risks and the dangers, it might lead to inaction.
We need to talk about them, but we also need to talk about the risks of not acting.
All right, so clear. What follow-up action have you defined then, based on this observation?
Right, so that is very much seek the friction, seek teams together and stakeholders of interesting problems, whether ideally outside of academia, in society. Sit down, get to work.
And what does the work look like?
The work looks like picking up tough problems, whether they're algorithmic or more, legal, ethical. Sit down together, try and solve them.
And get at it, and be here back next year and share and show what we do.
We have a wonderful phrase in Dutch, it's called aan de slag.
Aan de slag.
Exactly.
Let's do it. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, exactly. Sally, do you want to coin another follow-up action here at the Digital Society Conference?
Another follow-up action. Yeah. One of the things that struck me, I went to one of the sessions and the presentation I saw half of, so I'm sorry if I misrepresent the person, which is why I'm not going to give the name, was that we should also look for the gaps and do that kind of systematically. And I think there are kind of several things I took from that. One is, to kind of take risks and do things, but also not to reinvent wheels, but also to kind of look for where we can make a difference. And I think there's various techniques and ways of trying to systematically look for where we can make a difference, both in research and in teaching and in different sorts of areas. So, yeah.
That's what you're going to do, not reinvent wheels. Mind the gaps. All right. Well, thank you very much. You'll be with us during the networking reception, right? So if you have any questions or follow-up discussions with the program coordinators, also Inat is here as well. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Now, next up is a bit of an interesting part of the program. Digital society is a movement, as Emil Aerts told us this morning already, or at the start of the program. This movement is being noticed up into the highest bodies of government. We have several representatives of ministries here, and we were this close to actually having State Secretary Raymond Knops of the Department of Interior and the Kingdom Relations of the Netherlands with us here today. Unfortunately, he had a conflict of agenda at the very last moment. So we had to work our networks, we had to work our books. We called Emil, we called Jose, and we actually asked the staff of the State Secretary if he could know anyone who could be a very good closing of our conference here today. And I'm getting a bit nervous of this. I'll stick to the exact introduction as he said to us. Our closing keynote speaker is a leading authority in the field of networks and communication. He is specifically specialized in the process of cooperation between value chain partners and ICT innovation in transforming organizations. He was formerly employed at the Institute of Communication Studies in New York, and he is an advisor of the Ministry of Economic Affairs, also a direct advisor of Raymond Knops regarding the networking organization and cooperative processes. He has published frequently about the influence of AI on globalization, the application of the Internet of Things in universities, and digital innovations in government and multinationals. During his lecture here today with us, he will put the scientific dots on the I and use his academic perspective to reflect on this meeting and on our future. Give him a big round of applause, Professor Dr. P.H.A. van der Wal.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Yes, because we're going to talk about communication. And I was told that I had to speak in English today. Can everyone understand me? Yes? Okay. Because my presentation is still in Dutch, as you can see. Who of you speaks Dutch? Okay, good so. Yes, I was in Tokyo this weekend, so I did not have time to change it to English. Just for my knowledge, who of you does not speak Dutch? Please raise your hand. 3 people. Well, for those people, I will translate the sheets, the lakens. Yes, my mother always says that you should be looking nice on the picture. Je moet een beetje leuk uitzien op de foto's. René, ga je gang. Okay. First of all, we are going to talk about communication because we are here together and that is fantastic. Fantastisch is that. And ja, ik leg het ook af en toe even in het Nederlands uit, because otherwise I get a little bit indoor. Hoe noem je dat? Nou ja, confused, yes. Okay, because I am going to talk about differentiation and segmentation of positive effects of focusing on success with the implementation of transparent, kwaliteitsbrede ICT strategies in Holland. But I also want to talk about risico communication and the group's processes between government, bedrijfslife, corporate community and universities. Oké, dat lijkt me verder duidelijk. Let's go to cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, who of you knew everyone today already from the beginning? No one. And now you already met each other a little bit. I want row 1, row 3, row 5, rij 1, 3 en 5. Just take a look at the person behind you and tell that person, you should cooperate with me. Ga je gang. Als we in de berg achterin nog even. Because this is the mentality we need, right, Emil? This is the mentality we need.
Zijn we serieus genoeg of een joke?
New for me. But what I want to say now is that row 2, 4, 6, and 8, just a tick on the shoulder, give them a person a tick on the shoulder, and say, mind your own business. Because often it is like that. You want to cooperate, but that means change. And change, verandering, because I have done a lot of voor veranderende organisaties en netwerkorganisaties, change is difficult. But when you cooperate, change will become easier. I will talk about transparent communication process and samenwerkingsstrategie in a digitalized world, trends, developments, and tips. Yes. If you have better translations for me, because I was in Tokyo, let's go to the next. This is my CV. First of all, I will talk about myself just a little bit. Always nice to know who is that person standing in front of you. Also, if you go cooperate with other universities and government. My wife always also says, who are you? No, actually, wie ben je toch eigenlijk? And I'm not even married. Oh, dat vond Emil heel erg leuk. Yeah. But she doesn't know it. And that is often the case in the digital society. We are already in the digital society with one foot, but the other foot is still here. We want to get both feet on the ground in the digital society. I do the overzicht, de vogelvlucht, the oversight in bird flight. And then a short scientific analysis of structural Kate partner processes, blockchain. Is blockchain is like the buzzword of 2008. And blockchain, it's like yes. I still have to think a lot about blockchain and also about kennisorganisatie, professionaliseringstrajecten. Difficult word to translate right now. Then let's test our knowledge about these association of cooperative universities and shared and robust. You know these abbreviations. Excellent. Then the digital science. Yes, because I don't. Digital Society Conference, III network. AAA. When I speak for banks, for insurance companies, it's always AAA. To that means to do
after 2 or 3 beers. Okay, responsible data science communities. In fact, and of course, conclusions. Effective cooperation starts.
Efficient communication and sharing of knowledge. Zijn er vragen? Geen vragen, dan ga ik door naar mijn cv. Studied at the Kul. Not a very renowned university. I was a trainee at the Ministry of Economic Affairs. And 1995, 1996 was a very easy-going year. Een rustig jaartje, niks uitgevoerd. And also, of course, the Vlaamse Ambtenarenacademie in 97, 98 was a little bit like 95, 96. But to put twice TV is a little bit too much. Profit and non-profit business. Actually,
In the cloud.
very interesting. Then leescyclus voor de overheid, AOW, WWDA, 1001 tips. Om de burger verwarring te brengen zonder hem boos te maken, which is also the core function of the digital society. Dan, efficient information, well, you see all those, Belgian journal, successful teamwork in the annual review of communicational studies at the University of the Isle of Man, a small university. En in mijn free time, mijn hobbyisme is virtuele, historische stadswandeling through Rotterdam. That you think, is that possible? It is possible, it's a very short walk, korte wandeling. But then, of course, my hobbies always also, when you talk together in a digital society, we want to keep the menselijke maat, the human made, human measure. I love cooking, traveling, reading about cooking and traveling. Artificial intelligence, of course, origami met overheidstukken. Always very nice to do. And like you, I love my iPhone. I like to... yes, yes, René. Applaus voor René. Hij is echt goed. Yes. Of course, transparency and schermvrije zomer. Because usually I do schermen, but not in the summer. And then vogel en vliegtuig spotten. And if I spot a vogel on a vliegtuig, I'm very happy. Goed. Why are we doing this, ladies and gentlemen? I want to tell you how we're going to cooperate. We're going to change things together. We have to get to know each other, but we have to use a little bit of humor. Very important, so that the cooperation becomes a success. And now, digitale samenleving, digital society for everyone. Let's take a look at that, and we can continue. So, go to this one. Okay. Now, that should be clear. Let's go on, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sigmund Freud, and he said something about the digital society. And what did he say? Trying to get in touch with partners starts with getting off the couch. It is very important that if you are now in Groningen or in Tilburg at university, you get off the couch and you come into contact with each other. And this is another friend of mine, Albert Einstein. He said, A is MC kwadraat, E is MC squared. Emil, please explain. He has no idea. Maakt helemaal niet uit. E is MC squared. It means the E future is mankind times computers squared. That is the future. We are communicating already with computers, but it would be nice if we could become a computer ourselves. Robotization is very popular. There was even a little child born already manipulated with the genes. Excellent stuff. Okay, let's go to the quiz. Ladies and gentlemen, the quiz is called Win a Luxury Cruise to Vanuatu op kosten van VSLU. Here we go. And the first question is for you. Hello, what is your name?
Hello, I'm Enoch.
Enoch, nice that you are here. What are your hobbies and where are you from? Geen tijd voor je. Ga snel door. Please finish the sentence. Deze bijeenkomst is, this conference is, puntje, dotje.
Succes.
That is not the correct answer. Enoch, it should have been, is the Digital Society Conference. Digitale informatietechnologie dringt steeds sneller en dieper door in de maatschappij. Nog even, iedereen alles per net via het internet met elkaar verbonden. Nu is al duidelijk dat vergaande digitalisering bij elk aspect van de samenleving radicale gaat veranderen, niet alleen in Nederland, maar wereldwijd.
I wrote that text.
Enoch, yes. Then you should and could have known that. You could have won a signed copy of Apple of the year 1964. Give him a round of applause. Enoch, well done. And let's go to the next person. Let's go over here. This is a gentleman over here. Hi, what is your name? Hoe heet je? Hey Arjan, leuk dat je bent. Vertel eens over jezelf. What are you from? What is your hobbies? Ga je gaan? Daar hebben we ook even geen tijd voor. Which famous speech was made by José van Dijk? Do you know José? Yes, okay, very good. Is that A, don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country club? Is dat B, elk nadeel heeft nog een nadeel? Als je computer crasht, was je net van plan om een backup te maken. We'll translate that later during the borrel. Is that C, to be connected or not to be connected to the internet? That is the question. Is that D, de menselijke maat is heel belangrijk om niet uit het oog te verliezen. Daarom internet ik altijd in de buurt van familie, vrienden en andere mensen. Dan kunnen ze maar ook zien. Of dat E, de vraag is niet wat Amerika gaat doen of wat China gaat doen, maar Europa. Ik heb het over digitalisering, maar over het WK vrouwenvoetbal. Is het A, B, C, D or E? That is correct answer. You can take this screen home with you. Arjan, well done. Fantastic. And let's go to the last candidate, and that's the beautiful lady, lovely lady here in the first row. Hello, what's your name? Sam, yes, we know that. Tell me something about yourself. Where are you from and what are your hobbies?
I'm Canadian and I used to be able to skate.
Please continue. Sadly for you, I have all the time in the world.
We have a desert.
Well, that sounds very interesting. How many people are actually working in innovative research in the Netherlands? Is that A, 2, people like Enoch and Arjan? Is that B, 2,800,965? Is that C, less than 1 million, but more than 900,000? Or D, more than 537,000, but less than 90,000? A, B, C, or D?
How many people?
That is the correct answer. And you can take Enoch and Arjan back to Canada with you. Bye, Sally. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to the last candidate. Dat is hier Emiel. Hallo Emiel, hoe heet je? Nou, laat maar zitten. Let dat zitten. Er is €25,000 in de pot beschikbaar gesteld door Enoch. If you win it, where will you spend the money? In het pensioenfonds van de VSNU, de University of Tilburg, go on holiday?
Digital Society.
De digital, oh, applaus. Ja, dat is goed. Alright, the abbreviation VSNU, and please Enoch, are you translate for Sally, is that A, de Vereniging van Samenwerkende Nudisten te Utrecht. It exists. Is dat B, Veenendaal Samenwerkingsplatform voor Neurologen en Urologen? Of is dat C, vergaderen, samenwerken, nu, de motto of VSNU? Ik reken het goed en je mag dit straks mee naar huis nemen. Let's go to the bonus question. The abbreviation IT.
Informatietechnologie.
In English, please. Yes, correct. ICT.
Information and communication.
Wow, hij is goed. Die Emiel. ITT.
Informatie in de toekomst en techniek.
In tegenstelling tot. He does not know everything, Emiel. Hij prikt door his reputation heen. Then the Arjan, de afkorting LSD. It's a drug. Okay, de afkorting GHB. It's also a drug, yes. En LGH. Leven Gerrit Heikoop. Geef het toch een applaus. Arjan, geweldig goed gedaan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about networks and communication, because today we are going to start with cooperation. I believe in cooperation. I believe in samenwerking. I believe... Er is allemaal in Tokyo misgegaan. Let's see if we can get this back. Ladies and gentlemen, because the Association of Dutch Universities is a network that cooperates. And the association and the government and companies also networking together. Of course, VSNU, overheid, bedrijfsleven, partners is een samenwerkend netwerk. Een dagje in Amersfoort, een old school technology loots. Confereren is netwerken. En elke minuut social networks checken is niet werken. U kent het allemaal. Netwerken vind ik gewoon ook leuk. And networking is something that you learn. First, you do it onbewust, onbekwaam. Please translate for Sally. Onbewust, you're fake, yes. Bewusteloos. And after a while, you become so good in networking that you will be the top networker because you're doing it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. And let's just take a look at some people who are not experienced networkers. They are not here in the house today, so don't worry. First of all, they are usually young, ambitious, but not capable. These types, they are Justin Bieber. This is Canadian, yes. You do have the same hairstyle. Yes. But don't ask Sally to sing. Okay. And then you have people who love to network. They're old, ambitious, but they're not capable. They never get the job they really want. These people. Okay. Then you have people with a fantastic network, but no content at all. It would be fun if they could come, but people like this. And of course, you have people with no network and no content. Please don't get involved with these people. Because these people are old school. They are not using the digital society network that is here today. Not Facebook to Facebook, but face to face. Ladies and gentlemen, the ervaren netwerk. The people who really have charisma. In Holland, we have lots of politicians with charisma. This is our former Prime Minister. We used to call him Harry Potter. And this one is also Harry Potter. But, you know, somebody who can change the world. These kind of people. Yeah, so Zomerkunde Emiel. Of course, we have a networker in Holland. He comes every year. Everybody loves him. He knows the names of everyone, of the children. He brings presents. It's fantastic. This is the ultieme netwerker. Onthoud het goed. He loves to give away presents. So That's him. There we go. And of course, we are looking for a strong leader. Somebody who has this mentality, the I'll be back mentality. And let's all exercise this. Why don't you all do this like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Go ahead, doe maar eventjes. En zeg maar even tegen de persoon naast je. And tell the person next to you, I'll be back. Please, with a Californian Austrian accent. There we go again. 1, 2, 3. I'll be back. Okay, the digital society. It's not only about digital stuff, it's about actual people meeting each other, physical. You'll be back and also share research and that kind of stuff. And of course, this is also the I'll be back mentality. Excellent. Then I have some statistics that I want to, and I'm looking at we have to go up to the drinks, oké. We halen hier even uit wat er voor jou in zit, dan ga ik snel eventjes door. Oh, dat is opgeschoten. Hier, Karl Marx, Untersuchsauswechslung, yes, my German is not my strongest point. Central, das ist das Kapital. But the capital that you have here is the knowledge of the people you meet here today. And of course, who is this, Sally? This is Charles Darwin. And he said something about the 21st century. He said, survival of the fittest is not for the strongest, not for the most intelligent, but for the species that adapts best to the digital society. And he also wanted to say that was discovered and found out and presented by Emil Aerts, but that was not in the first edition. But if we want to survive in the 21st century, we have to cooperate together and share that research. Let's go to this. Here you see some stuff. You see the university, you see the research, you see the government, and of course you see the Bedrijfsleven over here, and then the professional, yes, corporate companies and so multinational professionalization providing. This profile that we see today of digital society is fantastic. And look at all these things. Let's go to the next schema. See what, not lots of things there, but just take a look for yourself and I'll just continue. Okay. Lekker verder duidelijk, that should be all clear. Let's go. You are all used to handling complex issues, is that correct? Yes? Okay, let's go to the next one. Because this is actually what the digital society is. We are getting to know each other. Very important for the future. And we are warming up network contacts. So I want you to be your own Al Gore today and warm up your network contacts inside of the globe. Where are they good at communication? In the ICT world, in the interdisciplinary ICT world that you are. Applaus for yourself. Ja, is genoeg. En let's go to the digital society. Op naar de i-bevalling, de i-uitvaart, de cyberreïncarnatie. The future is digital and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This is my brother, my half-brother in the United States, is Dr. Phil. And he said something about if you have VSNU, if you are suffering from VSNU, and it's all about cooperation. He always talks about success. Success is samenwerking, cooperation. U en wij, you and I, contact, communication, communiceren, even loslaten, even letting loose. And then stalking. I want you all to stalk each other if they don't cooperate. Get on the phone, get on the train, get on the plane, and cooperate together. That is what we need at the digital society. Donald Trump said something. He said, digital society first. It's fantastic. Make internet great again. Internet is here to stay. Let's make it better. Let's make it more human. Let's make the digital society fact. Oké, goed. Ja, het komt door de jetlag. We gaan even door naar de volgende sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a dream. And my dream is that we start and that we continue the cooperation of today. And I all want to ask you on count of 3 to repeat after me. Win, win, win. 1, 2, 3. Okay, iets meer enthousiast. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do something more appealing. Winst, winst, winst. 1, 2, 3. It's profit, profit, profit. Okay, Sally, alleen Sally. Profit, profit, profit. Yes! This is the net. Are there any people from Belgium? Profiterole, profiterole, profiterole. Also very, because I have a dream. And that is, today we are here together, but in the future we are going to work together and share that research, because transparent communication processes are trendy. Please repeat the last word with me. Transparent communication processes are trendy. Gezamenlijk samenwerken, ideeën uitwisselen is prima. Interactieve, innovatieve informatieoverdracht is in. Samenwerken voor skills en strategieën is sexy. It does not sound sexy yet. Another time, samenwerken voor skills en strategieën is no, I want it really sexy. We have, I'll be back now, it's sexy. Oké. We gaan het even oefenen. Why don't you all do and then sexy. 1, 2, 3. Sexy. Zo, samenwerken voor skills en strategieën is sexy, yes. Trots op je werk, de digitale samenleving onderzoeker is cool. En dan het internettijdperk van nu over 1000 jaar als middeleeuws voor te zien is oké, clear. En gezamenlijk met gelijkgestemde draad creëren is gaaf. Especially for the people from Tilburg. Digital Society bijeenkomst evenement vergadering uitgesproken. Get together is a fantastic word for Sally Scrabble, which you might do. And let's get started. Are you ready to be winners? On count of 3. Win, win, win. 1, 2, 3. Win. Meer enthousiast. 1, 2, 3. Win, win, win. Why don't you say, long live our young Enoch who are paying for the bowl out of their own pocket? Yes. Okay. Are you ready to change the world? What is your answer? On the count of 3, say yes. 1, 2, 3. Yes. All right. I need more power. I need more power. Old and young, man and woman. Are you all here? I want you to be the winners that you can all be. Why don't you all say, I'll be back. 1, 2, 3. Yes, this Arnold Schwarzenegger mentality. And perhaps we need even the Tarzan mentality, that you go through the jungle of the internet, but that you succeed. Are there any Tarzans here today in the Rijtuig van Loods? Yes. Yes. Enoch is finding his inner Tarzan. So, I want this mentality. All the men will go like this. I can do it. Digital society, I can do it. Okay, let's practice that, man. Even oefenen, 3. Yes. Here I'm still missing a lot of men. So I need. Are there any ladies in the room today? Dames. 2 dames. I need you to be the Jane. The Jane. After the Tarzans go like this. I can do it. You all go. Oh, you are a real winner! Yes, there we go. 1, 2, 3, gentlemen. I can do it. Ladies. Yes! This mentality. Who are you? This is Jane. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Before I leave you, I want to tell you, you are all winners because you are here today. You are ready to cooperate, ready to make new networks, and ready for the digital society. You are a winner, 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 everyone here is a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, I want a great round of applause, not only for René, but also for yourself. Keep on communicating, keep on cooperating, and follow that path to success that the digital society is. Thank you for your attention. I'm also available for children's parties and cremations. Thank you. Have a great day. En u mag weer iets voor jezelf doen.
Yes, thank you, Professor Dr. Philip van der Wal. Thank you. Looks like the drinks are getting ready. Emil, may I invite you up with me on stage after being the man spoken about so much, our visionary here today. As one of the initiators of the digital society, I would like to wrap up this first Digital Society conference together.
That's good.
By asking you first, how do you stand here and what are the next steps that we need to take?
Well, I find it very difficult to become serious again after this remarkable speech that we had from Professor van der Wal. It's serious business. I'm sure you have noticed that. And the serious part of this is about indeed the cooperation. We are a movement, and the movement refers to the fact that we are driven more by the aspiration than by the money. And I think that the professors and also the PhDs here in the audience, they really live up to that promise. So let's try to keep that up until we have money.
So, to make that come a bit closer, we spoke earlier this afternoon, you said, if I could make them do one thing, what do you hope tonight, after they leave the networking reception, when they go back in their cars, in the trains, when they get back home tomorrow in the office, what do you hope this audience will do for you?
Well, I hope that they will say the following to almost everyone they meet today and tomorrow, that this digital society is really something very special, a movement they have never witnessed before. And not for the reason that they listen to Professor Van der Wal.
Exactly, exactly. Well, thank you, Emil. And with that, there's some practical takeaways that I'd like you to do. Those of you who participated in the experiment of going offline, congratulations. I hope the last few hours were very valuable to you. Once you turn back on your phones, can I see a quick raise of hands? Who's on Twitter? Twitter, yes, very good. I've seen some tweets going on. Some of you decided deliberately not to participate. And let me double check the name. Peter Achterberg, why? Yes, Peter, very active tweeter. And Peter's like, oh, so the moderator asked us to turn off the phone and then he puts a hashtag in the background. Yes, Peter, that was deliberately. Because obviously, one of the biggest success factors of this conference here today is not only that René is able to make beautiful pictures, but it's also that we're able to become trending topic on Twitter today. However, it doesn't work if all of us tweet a little bit every hour. So, I have a plan for this. By the time you get out of this venue, you go home by train, or you arrive home by car, it should be between 8 and 9 o'clock. You're all here in the digital space, you know how the trending topic algorithm works, it counts the most tweets per hour on a certain topic. So let's agree, tonight, between 8 and 9 o'clock, all those of you on Twitter will tweet out what they've learned here today and, more importantly, their intended follow-up action that they take away from this conference. And if all of you, and there's quite a lot of hands on Twitter, do that, and all the others retweet each other as well, I promise you, we'll be trending topic between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight. All of the Netherlands, all of the academia, both in the Netherlands, European and internationally, will learn about this initiative, and then we'll use the power of these digital platforms to make sure everybody will hear us. Those who tweet, are you up for that? Yes, all right, let's do that tonight between 8 and 9. Those of you who don't tweet, who of you is on LinkedIn? All on LinkedIn? You can do the same thing on LinkedIn. Hashtags work on LinkedIn as well, so let's do that. Secondly, 3 key objectives when we started. Fully understand what the digital society is and how it works. When you go pick up your coat, you'll find this beautiful magazine, and it just summarizes all the key messaging, what it is, how it works, key objectives, the 7 research lines, program lines, you can all see it. There's interactive QR codes where you can then scan and go even deeper online. So it's basically the whole summary of this conference in a magazine. So make sure you pick up that and you share that. Most importantly, if you haven't done so, make sure you sign up to the newsletter of the Digital Society. You follow them on the social media channels. And if you do all that, I'm pretty sure that next time we get together at a Digital Society conference, we'll be able to at least double this room and truly make a big impact on the Dutch and international society involving this digital transformation. Thank you very much for your cooperation, for your hard work. The real hard work starts now, right? Networking in the reception. I wish you all a safe journey home, and thank you very much for being with us here today. Have a good one. Thank you.